It's the weaker than expected CPI sell-off over here. Good morning, everybody. Sorry for that slow start to the stream. Just getting all my ducks in order before the Jackson Hole Symposium. I have it live here on one of my screens on YouTube. Will be interesting to see what Fed chairman says today. Right now, the market is priced in for a hawkish message. So if we get any little micro indication that we're not going to be committing to anything that's hawkish, it can cause a huge relief rally as Nasdaq. Like anything where we feel that Powell is maybe neutral or he can go both ways will be a relief rally because the markets are worried that Powell's going to come in guns blazing anyway. So it should be very, very, very interesting to see. So I took this long trade yesterday on Nasdaq after I closed the stream. It's like sometimes you get the moves. Like I think it's between 12 o'clock and 1:30 is when we should not be clicking on our trading screens. Anytime between 12 and 1:30, you should stay away from trading, I think. T+1 was quite provided to be quite the resistance here overnight. Could monitor T+1, could monitor T+2 over here. T+2 is arguably the stronger of the two. Look at the volume at 9:30 today. There was nothing. Markets opened very, very calmly. It's like everybody was still sleeping. Everything happened at 8:30. Nasdaq essentially on this trend line, kind of hovering, waiting for what Powell says today. Like we don't know whether we want to go higher or lower. Very important how we trade this today. What he says may impact the longer term, but not necessarily the shorter term. So we should really be careful with how we trade. We just want our money and get out quickly based on the volatility that's going to happen today. So yesterday was a pretty bad day in terms of performance of trading, not necessarily PNL. I ended up pretty positive on the day, um, around $700 on the day yesterday, but I wasn't happy with my performance. So I think today I need to be making a much more conscientious effort on my performance, such as, not chasing, not getting in a trade right after I get stopped out, not trying the same trade more than two, three times, sticking within the rules. I think I need to be very disciplined today. So let's focus on that for today. Let's not do any crazy or impulsive decisions if we don't need to. He hasn't said anything and the market's already acting up. That's bad. Says we'll likely restricted policy for some time. It's like it's bad, but not that bad, with what he's saying. So headlines coming out little by little. So likely appropriate to slow hike pace at some point. Lower inflation in July is welcome, but we need to see more. Likely appropriate to slow hike pace at some point. That's a buy. So essentially with what he's saying, it shouldn't go down. We should be buying this dip on this downtick. This POC right here at 50. POC here at 50. I'll put in an order down here as well. Unless we get more headlines that come out, unless it starts to crash. Because we're already expecting him to say this anyway. There's nothing here that he said that is unexpected. Probably should have waited more for this dip. Like, he's keeping the door open for the September rate hike, but that's already expected. It's like markets are already pricing in for this type of speak, so I don't understand why we're why we're selling off. I think looking at T-bond futures, starting to see a rally in T-bonds. I think following the smart money would be the the better thing to do, because everybody shorting stocks on these news, but you just got to follow the smart money and what they're doing. I like this though. I think 31 could be like a nice little floor. If we rally above P1, I think P1 not necessarily at 10, but around like 10:01, and I don't know exactly what time we started selling off heavily. I think it was around here at 10:01. So this was technically P1 at 105. So if we reach 100, 105, I think we can see a massive rally up. I think you got so many stuck retail traders here. I mean, like, this news is nothing crazy. What he said, his headlines. But I'm just looking at the 2-year note right now, and the 2-year note is selling off pretty heavily. So so you got the T bond futures rallying, but the 2-year T note is making lower lows and it's selling off, right? So I'm worried about that. But again, this doesn't really change anything in my opinion, because anything after a few months, what do you even know about? Okay, now we see the 2-year T-note rally. Bit of an uptick in the 2-year T-note, bit of an uptick in the T-bonds. It says until we're confident that the job is done. But when is that? Okay, so the 2-year T-note is selling off, Nasdaq's rallying, the T-bonds rallying. So I think watching what the 2-year T-note does, Nasdaq should be doing the opposite. There you go. Above 105. Now we're back to P1. There's no way we're coming back down. I think we make higher highs off of this. That's it. He stopped talking. Everybody was waiting for something worse. He stopped talking, and now look, we're rallying. Holy shit. I should have sized up harder at this point. I think I got in very, very early. That's it. I'm out. I guess that's it for me today. There's no point trading again. That was the move. I got out at the highest, the ticks. I got out at 13,200. My entry price was a little bit bad, but that's fine. We found support over here. We watched the T notes. It just didn't make sense. It just didn't make sense, this whole sell-off. It's like we already expected, like everything was priced in for a very hawkish statement, and what he said was already expected, you know. So like what Powell said today was exactly what the market was expecting him to say. So why would you react to that negatively? So like now it went up way too much. It should even go up this much, right? So it's like you get out over here at the high tick. Um, just nothing happened. It was just a shakeout. It was volatility on both ends. That's it. That was the move. I mean, anything else you're trading. At this point, anything else you're just trading technicals. It's like we reached P1. The exit should have been at P1, but I saw this go straight up, and I just felt that you could actually take a bit more off of the table. Um, because this should, but it was the volatility and it was the speed in which it went up. There's really nothing to do here. I mean, what he said today was fully expected. So we should be trading at the price that we're trading in right now, and anything else that you trade later on today, it's just going to be more just the market trying to balance itself at this point. There's just nothing else to do for today. I just want to know why we bounced off 13K. Maybe because it was a psychological level. Maybe because it's the 13K number. I thought that it would have rallied um, kind of earlier, so my entry was pretty bad, but I was still within my risk parameters anyway. So we bounced off of 13K. I guess it was this level right here. Um, I thought that maybe we can bounce off of yesterday's POC 1350. So I put in some bids over here, and then I put in more bids down here. But a bit of a low volume area, maybe. I don't know. I mean, you can sit here and you can analyze why a market does what it does, but it is what it is. See, now we're just hovering around P1, and then anything that happens for the rest of the day is just pretty much trap traders getting in, getting out. That's it. Could we see a big unwind or retest of lows, perhaps? Retail traders wanting to retest lows. It's very, very possible. But we could also pretty much rally up from here simply because you have everybody pricing in for hawkish statements. And because we didn't really get anything out of that today, very possible that these guys get shaken out to the upside. Majority of the volume is kind of being traded at the within the initial balance at the high of the day. This is very balanced market simply because you have the POC within the initial balance. But then again, I mean, we didn't really have the strongest of opens anyway. We opened on very low volume, so these type of news days where there's just big news events, you just want to trade the news and get out. Or if you don't know how to trade the news, then don't even trade that day at all. Because nothing makes sense on days like today when it comes to technicals or anything like that. So unless you're trading the news, just don't trade that day. Because let's go back to 9:30, right? We typically see the most volume at market open. We had nothing today. We had 1,050 contracts at market open today. What is that? That's nothing. That is absolutely nothing compared to the usual 15,000 that we get, 20,000 that we get. Like the first 10 minutes, we barely had like 10,000 contracts, 15,000 contracts. We'll typically have 25 to 30,000 contracts in the first 10 minutes of a NASDAQ open. This just shows you that everybody was waiting for the news to come out. When the news came out, we had the most volume that we had, and then now there's just nothing else to do. This rally had probably the most volume that we saw today. It's this rally, I think, where all the smart money came in and then everybody got stopped out, as you can see by all the imbalances and the speed at which we just went up. All these little green highlighted zones are imbalances. And now we're finding support at these imbalances. So we're probably going to break a few of these imbalances before we rally back up. I think if we come back, like the further lower that we go, the more vulnerable these people at highs are. But at this point, these are everybody taking profit. Might get a retest of highs again before we come back down. Like I said, technicals don't make sense today. On a day like today. Actually, I think all things considering, my entry price was pretty good, 1350. Considering the move that we had, like if you think about it, I got in at the 38%, technically speaking. 38, like this whole move down, 1350 was a very good average price. It's just you're not used to seeing, like we have an ATR of 50 points, so you're just not used to seeing this kind of movement. But on a very volatile day like today, I think 1350 was pretty good. Now notice I didn't go in with max size because of how volatile today was, and I don't think anybody should have gone in with max size. My mistake was I put my bids too close to each other. On a day like today, what I should have done is I should have had a bid over here, I should have had a bid over here, I should have had a bid over here. If it gets picked up, it gets picked up, whatever. Right? But I kind of put my bids too close to each other, which gave me a pretty decent drawdown on my account. But compared to the profits that I made, it was nothing. I think it was like what, like I think the max drawdown I felt today was 350. Divide that by 1400. That's you know that's 25% of the profits that I made. So that was technically a 4-to-1 risk reward. I hope you guys made money, and I hope you guys either made money or didn't trade today. Because I could have been seriously wrong in the sense that just because you expect something doesn't necessarily mean it'll happen, right? But based on everything that we know, based on the build up to this and the expectations to this, and based on the fact that markets were already pricing in for a very hawkish statement, uh, they got what the markets were pricing in for. So why would the market start, selling off on that type of headline? I think what scared people was the headline where he said labor market is clearly out of balance, and history cautions against prematurely loosening policy. Lower inflation in July is welcome, but we need to see more. Very likely to see softening of the labor market. Like, he didn't say anything crazy. We rallied at 10:03. That was the rally. I don't think there were any headlines that caused that rally. I just think it was this absorption that ended up happening down here. It was all of this absorption between 1326 and 12995. Let's see. At 10:06, any headlines that came out at 10:06? Not really. 10:05. He says it will be appropriate to slow the pace of rate increases. That was around 10:05, almost at 10:06. That could have been what rallied the market. Says restoring price stability will likely require maintaining restrictive policy stance for some time. But again, some time is what? What is some time? We don't know. Says that the US economy is clearly slowing but has strong underlying momentum. You see, those are positive statements. Labor market is particularly strong but is out of balance. High inflation has continued to spread. It says July's lower inflation readings are welcome, but short of what will be needed before central bank is confident inflation is moving down. That was at 10:06:32. That's about it, really. I think the key was to watch what bonds were doing, what the smart money was doing, and then once you realize what the smart money was doing, I think Nasdaq was lagging behind it a little bit as it was selling off. Um, but when bonds started to rally, you got a good sense of, and bonds started to pick up a bit earlier, maybe like a minute or two earlier than Nasdaq, than equities. You have everybody in their Robinhood accounts, every retail trader trying to short, um, trying to short equities based off of this news. But you just got to look at what the smart money is doing in bonds, and it'll give you a good indication. This is very interesting. We're coming all the way, so we passed back P1, and now we're trying to test the lows again. That's very, very interesting. I wonder if you have, what the fuck? Where, I can't find this. Where's my footprint? What the hell am I doing? I wonder if you're getting a lot of people buying because they expected, they missed out on this rally. So you have a lot of people that are buying, and then at the same time you have people taking profits from down here, like the bigger institutions are taking profit. So the liquidity provided by retail traders is not enough, and they keep getting stopped out, and it keeps coming off. That's very interesting. Now I wonder if people are going to start buying up here, buying down here. Sorry. I think the more buyers you get here, the more likelihood we're going to reach T plus 2. That'll be very interesting. You could probably put in a bid here at T plus 2 at 12,930. Put in a little cheeky bid. I think we can bounce off of this. Yeah, 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 yeah. See, a lot of people are buying again. These are all retail traders getting stopped out. Retail traders realizing that they missed the boat on this rally. Now, very interesting to see this breakout if we create a ledge over here and then we continue lower. I want to see where we can create an actual ledge. A couple of rotations is what it's going to take for us to determine a ceiling to this breakout, right? what you want to see is you want to see a clear ceiling to this breakout, and then that's when you know it'll be okay if we go up a little bit, but this price around 12,980, right? But we don't know yet. We need to see a couple more rotations to determine a true ceiling to this breakout, and then if you want to take the short for a continuation, you can do that. But seeing as how today's very tricky, technicals don't really matter on a day like today. Like this could just be pure shakeout on all sides, you know. A lot of the stops were down here, right? For everybody that's buying for a hope higher, we just took out all these stops. Very curious to see if we go back above 13K. Not the cleanest of structures on this one, because we had this big down bar, and what you want to see is you want to see at least 38% of this big down bar acting as resistance, as in you don't want to see this down bar you know, be fully retraced. Now we're more than 50% of this, right? Could you argue that there's a ceiling up here, perhaps, simply because we broke 13K and now 13K is acting as resistance? Yes, that's very likely. But again, not the cleanest of structures. This isn't something that I would necessarily want to get in on. Very volatile today. You could still use 980. You could still use 980 as your true ceiling. Just look at this. Like this is where my eyes are lined up on these rotations. One rotation here. Like we got a rotation up, rejected, rotation, rejected, came back down, and then we just started. You see these rotations here? I like this. That's decent structure. You can put 12,980 to short. Now we're coming off. I don't want to put in a cheeky bid at 12,930. I could put in a small bid just to see. Might get filled, might not get filled. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Heavy bounce. That was just one micro. Nothing crazy. All right. We should not come down. Like we should technically have a good scalping bounce of like maybe 15-20 points based on the ATR today. Come down, come back up, at least retest 950, 12,950. I'd like to see us test 12,950. But we're establishing a ceiling here to this breakdown. That's it. Let's go higher. Let's go. Let's go. 12,950. Come on. 12,950. Oof. That's it. Didn't make much on that one. I think I've made like 90 bucks. I don't know. think we made, yeah, okay, we made around like 130 bucks. That was a good scalp. It was a good 20, it was around like a 20-point scalp. Morning, Hefe. How's it going today, buddy? How do you trade? I hope you didn't trade, actually. I hope if you traded, you made money, and otherwise, I hope you didn't trade. I didn't. Fantastic. I love hearing that. Good stuff. Smart man. Volume much? Let's see if there is volume. Let's do something like a 130 PNF because of this incredibly volatile day. Dude, there is volume, man. There's volatility, there's volume. 18,000, 10,000, 22,000. I love it. I absolutely love it. Maybe a 130 PNF might be a bit too much. We'll do a one. I typically do a 110, maybe double. I think 120 PNF. Might see the rotations a bit clearly, more clearer. What did we really rally up to? Yeah, we did. Okay. We did not. Well, no, actually, we did not. I think it was just liquidity that was being pulled. Interestingly enough, I think it was liquidity being pulled. Very interesting thought because I did not even realize it at the time, but now that I'm looking at it, we came down on quite low volume. 5K volume is pretty low. Pretty interesting though, right? So speech didn't start until I think 10:01. 10:01. That's when the speech started. And look at that. There's just no liquidity. This is low. This is 143, 200 contracts. Like there was just nothing. This is just retail traders trying to like, um, I don't know what the hell they were trying to do, but I mean, 9K is okay. It's fine. But then you got this. You had 7K in such a concentrated area. And then we instantly reversed that. 9K volume back up, almost 10K volume back up. Another 10K volume up here. That is crazy. I made a shit ton of money on this rally. Yeah, it was a liquidity grab. Very interesting. Interesting to see that. I think I would have been a lot more confident in going long had I seen uh this liquidity pull, you know, bids pulling out. Sell, big sell, big sell. Big sell up here. That's crazy. Did we get any new headlines? Hey, that's very possible though. Let's look left. Let's see what do we have here in terms of structure. A big buying here. Big aggressive buying here. Yeah, I had to change my point and figure to 120. I think 110 would have been too low, considering the ATR and everything. We are at the low of Monday, Tuesday. This is the weekly low, if I'm not mistaken. I think we are at our weekly low. Let's check. Yeah, we are. We have a bit more to go, I think. We tested. What do we test here? No, I think we have a bit more to go to test our weekly low. Hold on, let me show you. So this is the weekly volume profile. The week started over here on Sunday. Wow, we undid everything in one day. But he didn't say anything that was so hawkish though. Weekly point of control broke at 12,934. We tested value. Very interesting. Look at this. Value area low on the weekly. We bounced right off of it. That was the bounce. Could we test lower? I don't know. I don't know. Look, there's just no volume down here. And if what Powell was saying was already expected, I wonder if we rally all the way back up. I know it's crazy. I know it's fucking crazy. Uh, but equities, man, sometimes it do be like that, you know? Let's do a little bit of so from here to here, that's 194 points. From here to hold on. And then from here to here, that's 134 points. 194 points if we're looking at a 1-to-1. Just bear with me. If we're looking at a 1-to-1, the low is 1280. Is it 1280? It's 12800, and that is, yeah, almost the low of the week. Just to show you. So this move from here, that's 194 points. And then this low to another low, If you're expecting like another 194 points, if you're expecting a one-to-one move for this to break, it'll be around 12,800. That's about the low of this week. The low of this week was 12,830. But anyway, that's just wishful thinking. That's just crazy ideas. That this is not a trade idea. So we're filling up this gap right here. Very interesting to see that we're filling up this gap. I think higher than 914, we rally. If you want, you go short at 915, 914, 915. Although I think if we test 914 and 915, we'll break higher. So you want to go maybe short around 905. You put your stop above here. You go short here for newer lows. Very possibly that you can do that. But if we break this, I think we rally. Volatile days like today, I absolutely adore them. Like you don't want to put your bid too close to the price. You want to put your bid down here. If you want to go long. If you want to go short, you put your bid up here. I think where this buyer came in at 12,882. Let's put in a cheeky 2 micros. I'm not going in with the size. I'm just putting my toes in the water. Let's see how much more we can push this. Oh no, so close. 885. Did it really touch 885? Oh my god, I missed it by like 2 points. 2 points, 8 ticks, I missed it. Nah, I don't think. I want to move this down here actually. I would have gotten filled there. I don't know why I moved it. I moved it because I felt that if we tested that rotation again, then we would have broken it to go lower and then maybe pick back up. I didn't think that rotation itself would have been strong support. I shot myself in the foot by moving my freaking bid, didn't I? Rip. See if we break out of. Oh my god, what a shitty execution. Oh my god, and I got filled. I was about to cancel that order. And I got filled. I'm out. So this doesn't bode well for anybody who came in late to the market. Anybody who shorted down here, this does not bode well. Very possible that we just like rally up from here. But again, this is a ceiling. If you think about it, this is a ceiling. So unless we start to, but we're testing it though. Hey, we're really testing the top part of this consolidation. Maybe you can do this, but no, I think around here would be ideal. Somewhere around here. So you don't want to see this do a head fake. Like you don't want to see this come up and then right back down. But we're building volume on this way up, right? I know the volume's kind of curling a little bit, but look, we're building fast volume here. These guys are all trapped. But we are coming in on T+2 resistance, so it's like gotta watch out for a few things here for sure. Yeah, this proved to be some resistance, but yeah, it's right here. You see the cumulative delta, minus 46,000. But it's normal though, right? Like I want to see some divergence in cumulative delta. Like it's normal that we have minus 45,000. Look at the day we just had. But if we had positive delta and we're down here, then you know something's up. I also like to see like anomalies with rotation and delta. So for example, like if this is supposed to be a down rotation and we have positive delta, then that's sellers absorbing. Or wait, yeah, that's sellers absorbing. Because despite having a very positive delta, you know, this bar closed down, right? So it's like, what does that tell you about who's providing liquidity? So look at this actually. Very interesting to also note here. Minus 4688, minus 4896, minus 4917, minus 4956. Right? Notice that we're going higher in cumulative delta. Now we're at 5K. Now we're at negative 5K, but price is higher. So we're selling, right? But we're going higher in price. So the aggressive selling is there, but this is where there's liquidity here by buyers. Like a lot of bids over here. We just sold from here, from 4688. So we just sold from here to here. We sold almost 800 contracts, aggressively selling 800 contracts, and we haven't gone any lower. Could this be the low of the day? Could this be absorption? Could this be the liquidity that we're looking for? The footprint cumulative delta is based on time, in the sense that from here, from 9:30, it opens at 9:30. It opens on 9:30. This is the cumulative delta is just based on session open and session close. So it resets. Cumulative delta, you can change your setting. You can change the settings to be based on whenever you want. Like, if you want cumulative delta to reset every 10 minutes, if you want it to be at the start of the week, you know, Monday, from Monday to Friday. You know, you can have a cumulative delta of the whole week, right? You can do it that way if you want. This is a very, very, very fat range from 12,875 to 12,914, and now we're just playing around the midpoint of this range. You can put a bid here and then put like a 20-point stop loss. Very possible. Look at aggressive selling. There's just aggressive selling being absorbed by buyers. Oh, up, 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 up. That was quite big. That was quite big. There was something that just happened here. Unless I got fucking put a stop like down here. What do you mean? No, I mean, wait, which footprint? On the right side or on the left? Oh, this is rotation based. This is a point and figure chart. So this is based on it's based on a point and figure. This is not this footprint right here is not a time. It's not time based at all. So are you familiar with how point and figure charts work? Oh, okay, okay. Well, so point and figure, it's not time based. Okay, great. So if I bring you this ES, where is this? NQ delta. So this is an ES bar. This is an ES footprint. This is a Nasdaq footprint. Okay. So I'm gonna do this. This is a 5-minute right now. So this is a 5-minute footprint on ES. Okay, so these are 5-minute bars right here. Okay. This is a point and figure rotation based bar. So the way rotation based bars work is if I set it to 1 by 20, then what happens is every time we reverse by 20 points off the high, right, we create a new bar. It's any time that you reverse whatever setting you put. So if I do a 1 by 10, then it's going to create a new bar every time we reverse 1 by 10. Every time we reverse by 10 points off the previous high or the low. So on an up bar, right, if you have this if you have an up bar like this, if you reverse by 20 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, it will create a new bar. And then you'll make a new low. If you reverse by another 20 points from that low, you create a new bar. Right? So what this does is when you have, let's just say a 1 by 20 point and figure, and you see a big down bar like this, it just goes to show you that throughout this whole move, we didn't even reverse by 20 points. Right? So it just goes to show you that rotation is just, it's very strong. Like this is a very strong move, and that we haven't even, on this one move, on this one bar, we didn't even reverse by whatever setting you put up here. So that's what I mean by rotation based chart, is that it just shows you the rotations. It shows you the whatchamacallit, like the consolidation much clearer than if you're looking at it on a time based chart. Hold on. Let's do this. Which bar is this? How do I minimize this? Rename ES delta and then minimize. Yeah. So what you're seeing here, this is a 3-minute chart, right? On the left, this is a 3-minute, as you can see up here. And then this is a 1 to 20 point in figure. You'll see that it's different. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles, 9 candles. Right? You have more candles here than you would over here because you rotated more times. So this just helps you visualize uh, concentrated consolidation zones much better. So when you break out of the rotation, you can maybe think that, oh, we broke out of this high, right? Because previously we reversed off of here, we reversed off of here, we reversed off of here, right? But then when you break out of where you previously reversed off of, it's an indication that there's been a shift in price action, right? A shift in behavior. So previously where you would reverse off of 914, right? All of a sudden we broke out of 914. Like this rotation, this price wasn't resistance anymore for these rotations, right? And so when you see a reversal rotation on low volume, right, it's kind of like a fake because it's like, anyway, you can find many ways to like interpret this information, right? For example, this was a down bar, came in on some volume, and then even though it came in on some volume, we reversed off the low of this bar, and now we're here. And now we reversed off of this, and now we're here. So it's interesting because you can see that we were rotating higher, higher, and now we're rotating lower, lower. You know. So if we break this rotation, bad news. If we go back higher for around these rotations, good news. See, bad news. Like if we break this rotation down, yeah, but look, cumulative volume sell. We sold 40, let's just say 4688 to 5803, over 1,000 contracts in negative delta. Yet we haven't gone lower. We haven't gone lower yet. Yet. Okay? Yet. Right? But this is an indication that there's absorption. You have liquidity over here. You have liquidity up until you don't. So the interesting thing is, because like you can tell that the market just wants to sell off, and it really depends on how much liquidity is around these levels and if it's able to satisfy the hunger of sellers. If at some point sellers get satisfied with everything, we shoot up because of the fact that a lot of these guys get punched in the face. Like if something is selling and it doesn't want to go down, then what do you think ends up happening? You're building energy, right? You're building a lot of energy. I think this is not a very good sign for my long here. Right now we broke this on volume. Now could markets be searching for more liquidity on the way down, or could we just reverse straight from here? Maybe your favorite word, liquidity grab and go. Like a fast food restaurant, just grab and go. See if I can scalp 20 points off of this low. Quick scalp trade. No problem, no problem. No liquidity here. No liquidity here. We want to curl back above 50. If we curl back above 50, I see this going up 20 points. Let's go, let's go, let's go. This is where you should this is where it shouldn't reverse. Bummer. It's back down on low volume though. Some resistance. That was some resistance up here. That's it. That's 5 trades for me today. Oh, was that really it? Was that really the little bit of a dip and go? That could be the dip and go in all fairness. But anyway, that's 5 trades for me today. I don't want to trade anymore. I think we made some pretty good money today. We made some really, really good money today. Let's not give it back. I think I gave back 10% of it. So we're okay. I gave back 10% of my total volume, my total profit for the day. I'm very happy with that. We tried to push for more. We couldn't. But we didn't size up after that. We didn't go crazy after that. We just tried to take a bit more profits from the market, but we couldn't. And we just lost about 10% of our total profit for the day. So that being said, we ended the day on 20, let's see, 2,600. We ended the day on 2,600 profit. Take it easy, lol. Yeah, I know, man. I should. That's it. That's it. No more. Ended the day on 2,600. Not too bad. I think we can call it a day here. Thanks for watching, Hefe, as always. Thanks for joining. Have a great weekend. I'll try to optimize these charts over the weekend. I'll take some time and I'll see if I can optimize these charts. Maybe try to make things a bit more visually appealing. Maybe change the footprint a little bit, but I like the data that I'm getting. I like this cumulative volume. I like this. Maybe add some volume per second on a rotation. That might be interesting. Yeah, left screen is good. Left screen is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with this left screen over here. I don't want to add anything. If anything, I would take away from it, but there's no way I want to add anything to this. I think I get all the information that I need. I just need to figure out because I have daily volume up here at 341,000, and then I have daily volume 763,000. So I want to know what this is calculating. I think this daily volume might be calculating a different time. City subgraph, yeah. But either way, it's not that important. All right, guys, take it easy. Take it easy. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you all on Monday. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate your presence, man. Thank you. Thanks for joining. I just want an area where we can get like-minded traders who want to learn more about order flow, traders that can teach me about order flow, that I can teach about order flow. I just love trading. I love futures, and I love watching price action. So if there's anything, I think we can help each other. On that note, take it easy. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday.